Everyone, hope you guys are doing well. Today is Wednesday, December the 10th, FOMC today. So, fairly big day here in the markets. As for Monday and Tuesday, really not too much volatility kind of drying up here, but we're expecting a big move coming into FOMC. And of course, there's going to be a lot of volatility after FOMC and when Jerome Powell starts speaking here. That's going to be at 2 p.m. along with 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before that, kind of go over some charts coming into today. I'm not expecting too much, honestly, pre-FOMC. So we'll just kind of mark out the key levels and then we'll go over some watches that we're looking for moving forward. We are expecting a 25 basis point rate cut. So that is what is expected here in the markets. Before we do that, what is up, everyone? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. What's up, B-Roots, Victor, Andreas, Robert Patel, Enlisted, Under, Lament, Cody, 50, Deuce. Good morning, Jade, Cinna, Ryan, Solo, Robert, SX. Good morning, Hector, Ken, Benny, I am. Yeah, what's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's go on to the Forex Factory. Let me pull this up. So as you can see, coming into today, the major red folder news events that we do have, it's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is the FOMC statement. And then, of course, we do have that press conference that's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when we have when we have Jerome Powell speaking as well. Okay. So this is what we have later into today. This is really what's going to be affecting the market, and this is basically what's everyone's been waiting for, at least this week specifically. You can see for the past week and a half's worth of price action, really haven't done too much in the markets. You had a couple nice trades here and there, but ultimately with the overall markets now just consolidating, we're just waiting for FOMC. So let's go on to the ES. We'll go into the major indices and then we'll get started here. Okay, so as you can see here, we're on the ES 1 hour time frame. In the exact same levels that I have marked out, I have not changed them whatsoever. It's just going to be your Thursday's lows of last week, our 68.40. We have the middle of the range, which is our Friday's lows, 68.68. And of course, we have our last week's highs here as well, which is just your really 6,900. So coming into today here, we're closer to the bottom of the range. What I like to see is the reaction that we have really off of your Thursday's lows coming into market open. If we do want to see some buyers step in, potentially you can see a mean reversion back towards the upside, really back up and towards our Friday's lows of last week. If we break underneath your previous day lows, along with their last week's lows pre-FOMC, then we're just going to be really interested in the reaction that we have off this key level. So let's say we break underneath this key area pre-FOMC, potentially we can be looking for the fade lower right off the bat. I'm not really as interested in taking any trades pre-FOMC, but this is also a play. We're looking for the continuation lower right off the bat, or we can be looking for the reclaim back above. Now it's going to be this Thursday's lows for continuation higher, potentially later into the session. In my opinion, any trades that you do take today before FOMC, which is before 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, keep it on about half size. Plus, if you are going to trade, be a lot more cautious, just because a lot of the times pre-FOMC, historically speaking, a lot of basically everyone's just waiting for FOMC. There's not going to be too much volatility pre-FOMC. If there is a lot of volatility, then you just have to be a little bit more cautious. But yeah, basically be on half size. If you are going to take any trades, it's better to just wait until 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then after 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can be looking for positions around 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m., which is when Jerome Powell speaks. So this is what we have coming into today here for the ES. If you go onto the SPY chart, fairly similar thesis here. Key levels that we have marked out: Thursday's lows of last week, also your Monday's lows, and then now we have our Friday's lows marked out here as well. So if you do want to see upside, potentially this bounce off of your Thursday's lows for a pushback towards the upside. If we break underneath your Thursday's lows. As I mentioned, potentially you can see a push lower underneath this key level, or if it breaks underneath, you could be looking for the reclaim back above for this push higher. So really two kind of long scenarios coming into today. It's really just going to be the bounce or the reclaim off of your 681.50. As for, we'll talk about kind of levels potentially later into today or probably tomorrow about the plan for FOMC. So now for the overall markets, as I mentioned, higher time frame dips I'd like to see get bought up. Honestly, now with FOMC, we are pricing in a 25 basis point rate cut. I'd just like to see any sort of major dip on the market be bought up for continuation higher. So for the SPY, you can see we're still fairly bullish here, but we have a lot of liquidity that we can take out towards the downside. So potentially today, we can see a push lower with FOMC and then instantly get bought up for this really push back up and towards our all-time highs. If we look at the Qs, kind of similar thesis here. Now we're just kind of consolidating here. Any major dip that we do have, I just want to see get bought up for this push back up and towards our all-time highs. Let's go back onto the 15-minute time frame. So for the SPY and Qs, it's just going to be our Monday's lows here. As for the NQ, let's go into the hourly chart. You can see just a lot of consolidation here. Really not too much to talk about. Past week and a half, just a lot more consolidation in these general areas. It's great for range traders, continuation traders not as much, just because we haven't had too much continuation. As for the levels that we have marked out coming into today, we're just going to have your Monday's lows marked out, Thursday's highs. Coming into today, as you can see, at least for yesterday, nice kind of push up in towards our previous day highs, a little bit of rejection off this area, and then we just came right back towards the downside. So for levels coming into today here, what we're going to keep an eye out on today is really just your Monday's lows along with your Thursday's highs. If you want to see any sort of continuation towards the upside, either the bounce off your Monday's lows for a mean reversion back higher. If we do finally want to break out, we need to break above your previous day highs, hold above that level for continuation higher. I would be more inclined to trading reversals, since we're in a range. So just look for the pop, fade off this level. If it comes back down, you can be looking for the bounce play off your key level of support. All right, so this is what we have for the NQ. QQQ, fairly similar thesis here. Not too much to talk about. Key levels that we do have marked out is your Thursday's highs of last week, plus your previous day lows. Yesterday, buyers stepped in right off your previous day lows. Mean reversion back towards the upside, kind of just a slow grind. Now you can see we're basically in between its previous day's range. So in between its previous day highs, previous day lows, opening up in between Monday's high and low here as well. We just want to be a little bit more cautious coming into today specifically, We do have FOMC later into today. We have basically opening up inside the range. FOMC later today. We're gonna have lower volume, so key level coming into today is gonna be the exact same thing. We're just gonna keep an eye out on your Thursday's highs. If it comes up, potential fade off this level for a mean reversion back towards the downside. If we came all the way back down in towards our previous day lows, we can be looking for a bounce play back inside the middle of the range once again. So this is what we have for the QQQ, at least pre-FOMC today. After FOMC, completely different game plan. We're just going to wait. So pre-FOMC, just be a little bit more cautious. After FOMC, keep an eye out on these key levels just because we're going to have some volatility that comes into the markets. So that is what we have for the major indices coming into today, specifically for the first 90 minutes of market open. Now let's go on to some of the tech names that we have coming into today. If you guys do have any charts, now you guys can drop them in the chat. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. If you guys do have any charts or any tickers, you guys can now drop them in the chat. If you guys are enjoying this so far, appreciate if you guys drop a like if you guys haven't joined the daily watch list. That, of course, is in the description below here as well. Let's head on to some of the Meg 7 names coming into today. is for the retest. Am I waiting for the candle to close above the breakout level? That is correct. You can wait for the candle to close and they could be waiting for the retest. Rumors of a 50 basis cut. We'll see what that is. I'm pretty sure it's based in. I think it's only going to be a 25. I would be very surprised if it's a 50 basis point cut. It's always priced in. Yeah, it's majority of the times everything's always priced in unless we have an outlier move or something that's unexpected going to happen. Okay. Yeah, let me scroll down here. Let's go on to some of the Mag 7 names, and then we will head on to the other names here as well. First things first, Tesla here, higher time frame. We actually kind of came back down in towards our retest level yesterday. Never quite came back down in towards that Wednesday's lows of last week, but we kind of bounced off this general area here, kind of break, retest, kind of bounced off that previous day lows for this continued push higher. So for Tesla, nice bounce kind of off this previous day lows, mean reversion towards the upside, 5-minute opening range, and then we end up having this nice reversal, really back up and towards our previous day highs, up and towards that Friday's lows. So coming into today here for Tesla, you can see, at least if we're on the daily time frame, buyers are stepping in nicely here. What we like to see, at least moving forward, is really just this inverse head and shoulders. So as long as you can maintain, I'd like to say at least this level here, 430. This is looking good for a pushback up and towards our 470 here on Tesla. If we're looking at this on the hourly time frame, nice kind of higher lows are now being built. For the levels that we're going to have to see Tesla reclaim and hold for continuation, we have a few key levels here. Number one, we have your Wednesdays. This is your Wednesday's lows of last week, and then we also have your Friday's lows. So yesterday, really strong push towards the upside. Now coming into today, number one level, Wednesday's highs. You like to see reclaim back above, continuation back towards the upside. Number one scenario. Another scenario, if price was very, very bullish, right, break above your Friday's lows of last week for continuation higher. And then another possible scenario, we come back down right off the bat, and then we look for the reclaim later into the session. So this is the levels that we have for Tesla coming into today. Keep an eye out on this 448. That's going to be a key level here. As for potential some downside for Tesla, really now it's going to be underneath this 448. This is your key level here from earlier into the week. You can see multiple touches as well. If we can get underneath this level, then we can see some more downside back down towards 445 and potentially lower, which is your 442. So this is what we have coming into today here on Tesla. Just keep an eye out on your 448. As for NVIDIA, a lot of consolidation yesterday. So just a lot of consolidation after having a big move on Monday. Some news in the after hours and in the pre-market. Not really too much to talk about. Key levels that we have marked out is just going to be our previous day highs along with our Monday's lows. So what we like to see, really reclaim back above your previous day highs for continuation. Really, this is the only long scenario, or right, of course, above your Monday's highs for this continued push back towards the upside here as well. Let's just get rid of this. As for some downside here on NVIDIA, it's going to be now previous day highs rejection for a push back down in towards, now it's going to be this previous day lows 183. So for NVIDIA, just keep an eye out on your previous day highs here. Really not too much to talk about. You can see a lot more kind of consolidation here. So we'll just wait for more information to have a more clear thesis. As for AMD, exact same thing. Look at this price action. Very difficult to trade. Just going from kind of range high, range low, range high. Just kind of bouncing and rejecting off key levels of support. No real clear direction here on the higher time frames. Intraday, you just have these kind of big bounces out of nowhere and then just bounces and rejections off key levels. So levels coming into today here for AMD, previous day lows, previous day highs, equilibrium marked out here as well, 220. What I like to see is potential reclaim back above your Friday's highs for continuation towards the upside. If you want to see a bounce, right, 220 bounce for this pushback towards the upside here as well is also in play. So AMD, NVIDIA, not too much to talk about, as I mentioned, at least coming to this morning. Be more cautious. My game plan is really just to be hands off until FOMC. and then wait for more clear direction here in the overall markets. I'm not too interested in trading pre-FOMC. Apple, let's go into this here. So key levels coming into today for Apple is just going to be the exact same levels. Haven't changed them whatsoever. Just your Monday's highs and Monday's lows. You can see we basically just went in between this range here as well. So coming into today, just mark out your previous day highs, previous day lows, bounce play off of your previous day lows for continuation. If we drive towards the upside, potential kind of rejection that we have off your 279.50. So until we can break outside this range, expect it to be inside this range until further. As for Google, not really too much to talk about here. Reclaim back above our last week's lows yesterday. Nice kind of mean reversion back towards the upside to this 318. Now the key levels we're going to have marked out previous day highs along with our last week's lows. If you want to see upside, right, reclaim back above that 318. If we bounce off that last week's lows, we can see some buyers stepping in here as well. So this is what we have for Google coming into today. As for a few other tickers here as well, Meta finally broke underneath our key levels, which was that 662. Nice kind of break, retest, and now continuation lower. Really for Meta, the next key levels that we have marked out now is just all the way back down in towards our old retest level, which is our 650 here. So our 650 is the next higher time frame key level of support. Other levels that we can have marked out now as well, just going to be our previous day lows. If you can maintain underneath that previous day lows, potentially we can see your 648 here on the higher time frames. Okay. As for Amazon, nice kind of reclaim back above their 227, push back towards the upside. Microsoft, some news that we had in the pre-market, and now you can see some bounce here off your 484, potential kind of mean reversion back up in towards our 489 here. And then Netflix, really not too much to talk about here either. So coming into today, if you guys do have any charts or any tickers you'd like me to go over now, I'll probably only go over them for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Not too much to talk about coming into today with FOMC later. But a game plan today, just to be more hands-off, you can see SPY kind of bouncing along with Qs back towards the upside here. We do have some red folder news in about 7 minutes. But the game plan today is just keeping an eye out really for SPY. You can see a little bit of divergence bouncing off your Monday's lows. I'd like to see a push back up towards your Friday's lows for the QQQ. Now the key level I'm going to have marked out really is just going to be this 625 and also your previous day highs. But I'm not expecting too much pre-FOMC. Potentially we can see this kind of slow grind back towards the upside. We'll keep that in mind. But that's what we have for the major indices. As for my main watches, keep an eye on Tesla, AMD, and NVIDIA kind of lagging behind. So on the semis side, along with the rest of the Meg 7 names, I don't really see too much. So just be more hands-off pre-FOMC, and then we can be looking for a more of a clear direction after FOMC and when Jerome Powell speaks as well. Okay, let me grab some water here, and then I'll go on to some other names as well. Okay, if you guys do have any charts or any tickers now, you guys can drop them in the chat and I'll go over them. If you guys are enjoying this so far, I appreciate if you guys drop a like. If you guys haven't joined the daily watch list, you guys can join that in the description below. Can you please send a link to your courses? Thank you. I have modules. So I recently just done a key level workshop. That's on my second channel. If you haven't checked that out, I have a bunch of videos as well explaining kind of the overall thesis and what we're looking for. So make sure to check that out, Dream. That is on my second channel. You can find that if you go into my YouTube channel and scroll all the way down into the description, you can find that. That's at the bottom, and then I'll have some of my content posted there. Let me scroll up here as well. Is the Black Friday sale over? Yes, that is correct, Samantha. Do you have any idea on rates? We're expecting a 25 basis point rate cut. That is what's expected here in the overall markets. It seems like we're having a little bit of a pop here currently on the SPY and Qs, just kind of offer key level support right back up and towards our previous day close. Okay, now let's go on to some charts and what we're looking for. So first things first, Palantir. So Palantir had some news in the after hours, and now you can see we're gapping above key levels that we have marked out. This one has room all the way back up and towards really this daily gap that we're currently filling, and now the next level is going to be your 190 here. So Palantir, we have a bunch of room back towards the upside. If we go on to the 15-minute time frame, for me, Palantir level is fairly clear. We have your previous day highs. We also have your Monday's highs marked out. And you can see basing here in the pre-market. What we like to see, let's kind of zoom in here on Palantir. We have a couple key scenarios that we'll be looking for. We can also mark out this pre-market pivot point here as well. Number one is going to be the potential break and retest now off of our just this opening candle here in the pre-market. 180, I think it's our 185 for continuation higher. Another possible scenario, dip down in towards our previous day highs, 183.50 for this continuation higher here as well. So two scenarios on Palantir. It's really just basing above this 183.50 for this continued push back towards the upside. Shorts are in play underneath your 183.50 for a potential move back down in towards our previous day close. So keep an eye out on Palantir. It's going to be one of my main watches today, just with the news that we had here in the pre-market as well. So we'll keep this in mind for Palantir. As for a few other tickers, you guys are mentioning Hood and SoFi. I'll go over that here in a second. As for Hood, nice kind of push towards the upside yesterday. Tried basing above your Monday's highs along with our last week's highs. Ultimately, right, nice kind of support, broke underneath, and now we're back inside of this range. So key level is still going to be this 137.50, and then key level here on Wednesday, 134. So we like to see break above, hold above your 137 for a push towards the upside. Potential bounce play off this 134 for this continued push back up and towards your 137.50 here as well. So two scenarios played out on Hood coming into market open. As for SoFi, this one dropping as expected, which is heading lower just because we did have a offering not too long ago. But longer term, if you are still maintaining a bullish stance here on SoFi, right, this one eventually, right, you like to see kind of all major dips be bought up. Levels I have marked out really is just your 24-hour time frame level support. I wouldn't be surprised if we come all the way back down in towards this level and then eventually get bought up for a pushback towards the highs. So for SoFi, at least moving forward, key level that we're going to have marked out is your 27 key psych. If we can reclaim potential mean reversion back up in towards your 2780. If we reject, we're just going to see some more downside, potentially back down in towards our 2520 here. As for a few other tickers, so AVGO along with Oracle, we both have earnings on these tickers. AVGO, this one maintaining above your previous all-time highs. Key levels that we're also going to have marked out now is just going to be our previous day highs and our brand new all-time highs. So we have a couple key levels here on AVGO coming into today. What I'd like to see is break above previous day highs continuation. Another possible scenario, bounce off of your 404 for this pushback higher here as well. So two scenarios on AVGO for continuation towards the upside. We do have earnings on this name. That is going to be tomorrow in the after hours. So that is tomorrow, Thursday, December the 11th. So that's something to keep in mind if you are trading AVGO. The premiums might be a little bit juiced up, but higher time frame, key level 407. As for Oracle, this one has earnings tonight after market closes. Key level that we have marked out is going to be that Monday's highs. You can see a couple of rejections here in the pre-market and after hours. Now what I like to see is reclaim, break above for continuation higher, or the potential kind of retest off your 219 for this push back towards the upside here as well. So these are the levels that I have marked out on these names coming into today. MU looks super solid bounce here for this continuation higher. Next level is going to be all the way back up and towards your 258 here on MU. TSM key levels that we have marked out is just going to be our previous day highs as well. 304. This one looks very solid. So a lot of these semis look fairly solid here. TSM, you have room back up and towards your all-time highs or fairly close to it. So for TSM, key level previous day highs for this potential bounce play back up and towards our all-time highs is in play. We also did just have some red folder news here as well. Let me see if I can pull this up. So yeah, we just had a little bit of red folder news here. I'm not sure if it's going to affect the market that much, but we have unemployment costs, as I mentioned, later into today, FOMC, along with the FOMC press conference. That's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So going to go over my game plan once more, and then I am going to get ready for market open. Grab some water here. Alrighty. Okay, so the game plan coming into today here in the overall markets pre-FOMC is just to be a lot more hands-off pre-FOMC. Don't get yourself caught up in the chop before FOMC. As I mentioned, the volatility picks up after FOMC, and of course with Jerome Powell speaking as well at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So really today, I'm just going to be a little bit more cautious trading in between the Friday's lows and Thursday's lows. If we're right now, we're kind of opening up right in between the middle of the range, so it's kind of coming into my no trade zone. I'd much rather be looking to take trades really off your 685 along with your 681.50. So these are the key levels that I have marked out, at least coming to today. Not as interested, as I mentioned, trading in between the ranges. For the QQQ, key level that I have marked out is going to be the 625 along with our previous day low, 622. Similar thesis here. I'm not as interested. Maybe if we can break above your 625, potential flip for a push higher. I just want to be a little bit more cautious pre-FOMC. That's what I have marked out. As for my main watches today, yeah, I don't really see nothing. Tesla kind of in between this range here, 447. Nvidia, a lot of consolidation yesterday. AMD, a lot of consolidation as well. Apple in between its ranges. So really, yeah, a lot of things are just in between its middle of the ranges pre-FOMC. I don't see too much coming into today. Actually, the one ticker I do like here is Palantir. So Palantir above your 183.50. This one has news as well, so keep an eye on Palantir above your Monday's highs. A couple other names that I do like here, AVGO along with AVGO along with Oracle here as well. So keep an eye on AVGO potential continuation. So AVGO and Palantir are my two favorite top watches coming into today. MU, you can keep an eye on this one for potential all-time highs push along with TSM. So these are the best looking tickers in my opinion for continuation. For the Mag 7, as I mentioned, I personally don't see as much. So just be a little bit more patient and then wait for FOMC. Yeah, FOMC is at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure, if you guys haven't traded FOMC before, make sure to check out the economic calendar and see how that affects the market. Because the majority of the times, everyone is essentially waiting for the Fed's decision on rate cuts. As I mentioned, most likely we are going to have that 25 basis point rate cut. But anything can happen, so it's best to wait for that. And then, of course, Jerome Powell to speak at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here as well. Alrighty, that is going to be it for me today. Fairly shorter pre-market prep, as I mentioned, with FOMC today. But if you guys did enjoy that, appreciate it if you guys drop a like and sub. If you guys haven't joined the daily watch list, that of course is in the description below. That being said, let's see, is there smoke? Is there streamer smoke? Yeah, I just have my humidifier turned on. You might see, is there smoke coming out? Yeah. Let's see, what's the mean reversion? Mean reversion is just more of a reversal trade, reverse back into the mean. And yeah, seems like that's about it here as well. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me today, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. All right, take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.